500 ounces of silver in hand, 3 dealers, 3 shocking responses. I watched a silver stacker try to cash out 500 ounces of silver this morning. Here are the shocking responses. Oh, if you're interested in silver, click that link in the description. Money Metals is holding this contest. They're giving away 20 silver eagles. Click that link, take home that silver, be the next winner on that list. Now, check this out. I watched a stacker walk into a local coin shop that I hang out at this morning, and I ended up following him to 3 different shops in total. So listen to this. You have to understand that he picked up these tubes during the 2020 to 2022 years. Silver premiums went through the roof. Spot prices, right, the base market price of the silver, they weren't anything wild. It was hovering between $20 to $28, but dealers were charging $14 to $15 over spot. If you were stacking back then you remember this. This is for eagles. That means people were paying close to $40 for one coin. It really came down to 3 things. It came down to panic, came down to scarcity, came down to demand. People were panicking about the economy, inflation, supply chains. The U.S. Mint had shutdowns and delays. That created a shortage. And on top of that, they redesigned the coin in 2021, which slowed production even more. Altogether, everyone's scrambling to get their hands on eagles. Dealers couldn't keep them in stock. So the premiums kept rising and rising. But here's the twist. Now, today, 2025, we're seeing the exact opposite. Silver eagle premiums have completely collapsed. The premium today is really about $2.50 under. That's for your buyback. And some dealers are offering them even lower. So what happens? 3 words: oversupply, weakness, and repricing, right? After that big spike in demand, the U.S. Mint went into overdrive. They cranked out eagles like crazy, and now we have too many of them. At the same time, buyers started looking elsewhere, like maples, generic rounds. Yes, I include myself in that. In fact, many generics today, they're selling for, $1 to $2 over. And for the buyback, it's the same, about $1 to $2. Eagles were going for $10 over spot, $14 over spot, right? Not too long ago. Now, you'll be lucky if you get, well, look, I'll tell you what this guy got. I followed him this morning. That first shop that I was in where I met this gentleman, again, it's a monster box, 500 eagles. The dealer was offering him spot. And you remember how much he paid for these? Probably $14 for each. The loss is just so painful. And I could see it in this man's face. I mean, he was really surprised. He thought he was getting some of that premium back. Nothing. He started to walk out, and I asked him if he was going to go to a different shop. We had a conversation. He let me follow him. I wish he would let me videotape him, but many stackers want to be anonymous. I get it. So the next dealer we went to offered him, he was a bit more generous. He offered him $2.50 over spot for each eagle, but it still hurts. That's still a huge hit compared to $14 that he paid for each. We dragged that giant box to another shop, and that dealer wouldn't even take them. He was already drowning in silver. This momentum we have for silver, at the time of this recording, we're just touching $40 an ounce. Everyone is excited for that $40 mark. They're cashing out already. So this dealer told him he really wasn't interested. He already had all the silver he could take. He's not buying. That's the reality of the market today. And this is what it tells you and I as stackers. We need to understand when to shift, when to pivot. We need to know that this silver market is just like every other business, every other market. A few years ago, everyone was stacking silver as a hedge against inflation. Sure, fine. Of course, makes sense. Today, that's not what's moving the price of silver. Industry, industrial demand, that is what's moving the price of silver today. And because of that, we need to be following closely how that piece of this puzzle impacts silver. Again, at the top of this video, I started telling you about silver eagles that have changed their market value since the past 4 years. They've changed. We need to know when to shift and when to pivot. Well, get your own silver. Click that link in the description. Thank you, Money Metals Exchange, for sponsoring this channel. There's a great contest. Every month, they're giving away 20 eagles. Every month. Be the next winner on that list. Take home that silver, and I'll see you on on the next one.